You ever walk into a huge store and just wonder, how do they even know what they have on all those shelves? It's definitely not as simple as it looks. Today, we're going to break down how inventory management has evolved, from really clever guesswork to the absolute power of real-time data. Let's jump in. Can you imagine trying to physically count every single item in a massive warehouse? It's a total logistical nightmare. And think about online stores. With products flying off the virtual shelves 24/7, a physical count is pretty much impossible. And that's where the real challenge begins. So, what do you do when a full, perfect count is just not going to happen? You don't just throw your hands up, right? Nope. You get creative. Accountants have come up with some really ingenious ways to estimate inventory, giving businesses a crucial snapshot of their financial health without having to shut the whole operation down. And that's where we get into what I like to call the art of the estimate. We're going to look at two classic, really powerful techniques that accountants use to figure out inventory value when, counting every single box just isn't an option. Okay, first up, we've got the gross profit method. Let me break it down like this. Imagine you're a baker. You know that for every $10 cake you sell, you usually make about $4 in profit. So if you sold $100 worth of cakes today, you can make a pretty good guess that your ingredients cost you $60. The gross profit method just applies that same simple, powerful logic to an entire business. It's actually a really slick four-step process. First, you figure out the total value of everything you could have possibly sold. Then, you use your past performance, your profit percentage, to work backwards from your sales numbers. What's left over? Well, that's your estimated inventory. It's all just logical deduction. Okay, let's put some real numbers to this so you can see how it works. We start with $50,000 worth of goods available. Now, with $60,000 in sales and, say, a 40% profit margin, we can estimate that the cost of the goods we sold, or COGS as you'll often hear it called, was $36,000. You subtract that from your starting point, and boom, you're left with an estimated inventory of $14,000. Now, here's the crucial thing to remember. This is not something you do every single day. It's a specialized tool. It's perfect for quickly whipping up a quarterly report for management, or, in a worst-case scenario, providing a reasonable inventory value for an insurance claim after something terrible happens, like a fire. All right, let's pivot to our next technique, the retail inventory method. If you've ever walked through a giant supermarket or department store and wondered how on earth they keep track of everything for their monthly reports, well, this is often their secret sauce. Just think about a department store for a second. They have literally thousands of different items, all with different costs and different selling prices. Instead of trying to track each one, the retail method looks at the big picture. It calculates the average relationship between what an item costs the store and what it sells for, giving them a super powerful way to estimate the value of their entire stock. And this slide just shows you how beautifully simple it is. If you've got goods that cost you $70,000 but are priced on the shelves at $100,000, well, your cost to retail ratio is 70%. So if your registers tell you that you have $30,000 worth of inventory left at retail prices, you can estimate its actual cost to you was $21,000. So simple and so effective. Now here's a super important reality check. As great and as clever as these methods are, at the end of the day, they are still estimates. For the official, audited year-end financial statements, nothing beats getting in there and doing a full physical inventory count. So you see, estimation is an amazing tool, but it's kind of like taking a photo of your inventory. It's just a snapshot in time. But what if you could have a live video feed of your inventory 24/7? That's the power of automation, and it is completely changing the game. Okay, so how does this whole revolution actually work? The answer really comes down to one thing: software. Specifically, something called Enterprise Resource Planning Systems, or ERPs for short. These things are the absolute backbone of modern business. The best way to think of an ERP is like the central nervous system of a company. It's this one, single, integrated platform where everyone, the sales team, purchasing, the warehouse, accounting, they're all looking at the exact same live information. When one department makes a change, every other department sees it instantly. And this is where the magic really happens. We're talking about a perpetual inventory system where every sale updates your stock levels the second it happens. Barcode scanning basically wipes out human error. The system can even automatically apply complex costing methods, like FIFO, which, by the way, just means first in, first out. And for all the accountants tuning in, this right here, this is the holy grail. The single biggest win from an integrated system is the drastic reduction in manual work. All those tedious journal entries, the system just does them for you. It frees you up to do the actual analysis.
Look, the best way to really get this is to see it in action. So let's follow one single transaction through an automated ERP system, and you'll see just how seamless this whole thing is.
All right, so first up, a shipment of 500 units arrives at the loading dock. The moment those goods are scanned into the warehouse, bam, the ERP automatically makes this journal entry. It increases the inventory asset by 10 grand and logs the debt to the supplier. No human hands, no manual calculation. Now watch this. This is the really cool part. A customer buys 100 units. The system obviously records the sale, right? But at the exact same time, it automatically calculates the cost of those 100 units and creates a second entry, moving that amount out of inventory and into cost of goods sold. This is real-time accounting, and honestly, it's a total game changer. And the results of all that? Just like that, your inventory balance on screen for everyone in the company to see instantly and accurately shows 400 units left. Your financial reports are always up to date. That is the power of automation. So after all that, looking at both the art of the estimate and the science of automation, what's the real takeaway? Why does understanding this transition from one to the other matter so much for anyone in business or accounting today? You know, the key takeaway here is that it's not really about one being good and the other bad. Estimation methods are still incredibly valuable tools for those specific situations we talked about. But the clear direction of modern business, the goal, is to move toward automation. It delivers the daily accuracy and efficiency you need to turn your inventory from just a boring record into a real strategic advantage. So it really leaves you with this final thought. Is your inventory just a backward-looking record of the past, or is it a tool that can help you build the future? Because with the power of automation, it's not just about counting what you have anymore. It's about knowing what you need, maybe even before you know you need it. And that, well, that's the true power of managing inventory in the 21st century.